Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for February 18th through the 24th, 2019. So before we begin with the meditation, I'd like to just let you be aware that this week I've been guided by the angels. It started in the daily card messages in this previous week, using a new deck of cards that I've owned for about a year, and I've had them out but haven't really worked with them a lot. This deck is called the Art of Love Tarot. It's a deck that is published by Blue Angel Publishing. You probably may be familiar with the artist Tony Carmine Salerno, and this deck was actually put together by Denise Jarvie, who really loves his artwork and wanted to create a deck from his artwork. So just to give you that little heads up, and I'll put this information in the description below as well, so if any of you are interested. It's very different, and there is some nudity in this deck as well, so it's just to be aware of that. But and also, of course, we're still using the Archangel Oracle cards. So I'm just trusting the angels, and that they always know what's best for us in order to connect with their messages and to open up our hearts to receive and the messages through the cards that we're using. I was resisting it a little bit, but I'm trusting. So that gets my ego out of the way. So let's take a deep breath right now together and sort of just allow ourselves to feel nurtured by our own alignment of well-being. And just feel it pouring in. And just allow your heart to open. And feel the love pouring in from the universe, the cosmic love. And as you feel that love pouring in, cosmic love pouring in through your chakras, open your heart chakra and allow this beautiful divine light of your soul that's like your own brilliant sun, radiating warmth and peace like a beautiful new dawn of the sunrise. That beautiful light, that first dawn light in the morning. Just imagine that's your inner being, that light that's inside of your soul, that is your soul, that represents you in this world. And see it as though it has some sort of tinges of pink in this light on the periphery. And just allow that beautiful light to just expand out in all directions. And anything or anyone that comes to your mind that concerns you, just send that light. Know that that light will envelop them and you. And we're just calling in your angels to surround you with wings of love and to hold you in this sacred place. Just know that your angels are going to hold you in this beautiful golden alignment of unconditional love. And they're sort of showing me a version of the Atlas, you know, the where he's holding the earth. And what this kind of looks like to me is a tree personified as a human holding up the branches that are in a circular shape like the earth. So there's this web of consciousness, higher consciousness, and they wrote the word reflection. So not quite getting this symbolism of this right now, but because it's instead of holding up the physical world, but okay, so they want you to hold the physical world in your consciousness, okay, because the trees represent, the higher part of the trees represent this, and they really want you to be connected. So they really want you in your connection to be really grounded in the earth, to be really sort of connected with the earth as a steward. So this beautiful image is of being a steward for the earth, and in particular because the branches and the leaves, the foliage above the trunk represents, for me in general, our soul's consciousness. And so what they want you to hold up is the soul consciousness of the earth in your prayers, in your meditations this week. And they want you to send this nurturing energy of your soul, that light that we just experienced, to send this to the earth and to raise the frequency of the planet. So they'd like for you to continue doing this as you feel guided to, and I'm seeing dolphins just in midair, a whole team of dolphins, and they're circling around, and they wrote the word joy. And so they want you to hold the earth's consciousness in this joy and fulfillment that your inner being has. We are all potent with joy and peace and unconditional love, and we get distracted by our lives, what's going on around us in the outer experience, and we don't pay attention enough to that light within. But they really want you to do it and to offer this for the consciousness of the planet. So this is to sort of help the planet to elevate its consciousness, and some of this process is going to be to help the planet to clear some of the consciousness as absorbed from us, the sort of the lower frequencies of our own consciousness, the fear, they're writing the word sharp, like it's acute. It's like right now the fear is so acute on the planet right now, and we're really feeding into it. And the planet consciousness is a very high frequency of love, very high dimensional. But it needs our help to release this, because right now it's really highly concentrated. And so in your meditations, to use the sunlight, to call on the angels and God to help to clear our lower vibrations of thought, our worries, our fears. There's so many things that are going on right now politically, all kinds of things that are happening, and people were just feeding into it. And we really need to hold up the consciousness. So for ourselves, and this is a good thing, because when we do this for the planet, we're doing it for ourselves too, because it's a reminder for us not to the word I'm hearing is devolve into this state of consciousness, this fear. Because one of the things that the resistance that we feel about it is that we feel like we're being dragged back into the past. And that's not happening, no matter how much all of this feels like it's so familiar, and it feels and it seems as though it's being recreated, but it's really not. We are in the present always, and we have new tools. We've learned so much from the past, that is to say the actual past, although it feels like we're stuck in it. But we've learned a lot from the past, and we've moved through in terms of we had a journey. We've been living and breathing every day that the new days have brought us, and those new days, and even right now, new lessons and new wisdom from our soul is surfacing. And so we will not, there's no fear ever that the past will overtake. It's not possible, because the consciousness, even of those who are the most seemingly stubborn, their consciousness maybe hasn't moved as or evolved as well, let's say they haven't allowed themselves to really take in the evolution of their spirit, their soul, because it doesn't matter when you engage life, your higher self is engaging and participating in what you're doing. And so whether you take the lessons that you've got, that you've lived or not, your soul has. And your soul is always connected with you, and it will always be a part of the process of what is filtered and what people are dealing with. So even they cannot be reliving the past. What they're reliving is pain and fear that they believe is creating, or the things that's creating their fears. They believe it's, they still see it, but the thing is that we can't go back, because we're going to bring what we've learned, the wisdom, to what is going on right now. So just think of it this way. It's like, the day before, your eyes were just open a little bit less, but every day forward, your eyes are open a little bit more. And so you can't unsee, what you've seen. And that's really the best way to put this. You just can't unlive it. And so you can do the same things, but when you're going to see with the new eyes, and all that you have seen, and the culmination of all of that wisdom, you see with this. You see what looks the same, but you see it with all of that. And because all of that momentum is there, all of that growth, that protects us from things ever really being what it was. And so, no, this does not mean that we sit back and do nothing, but don't do anything out of fear. Do out of your spiritual discernment. Listen to what your heart guides you for the best path, or best way, to the most inspired way to bring your resources, your spiritual resources, your talents and your gifts. Or else you will repeat mistakes that have already been made. And that could be, just attacking someone for not holding the same ideas and views that you have. And even if a majority of people agree that it's wrong the way people express themselves, if you handle it the same way that it was handled before, then you are reliving the past, and you are creating your own worst fear. And so the thing about why this fear is so prevalent right now, because the ego, our ego, we created it, but it was given to us for a specific reason, but we allowed it to get out of balance. and out of harmony with the oneness. The ego was here to give us an identity in order to express free will, but we were to channel that free will and that identity into love. It was supposed to be expressed as love. At some point, that was broken, and we devolved into a great amount of fear. And so the thing is that you do not want to allow yourself to get stuck in fear. And this is what happens. Remember, your mission is love. And so even though terrible things happen, and you have your own personal crises in your life, you have to remember that your mission, that is to say, what you bring to those situations, is the joy of God's love. This is your task to always remember, because the joy of God's love is your informant. It's your resource. It's your engagement of the ascension process. That spiritual wisdom is what can heal. So our love is meant to heal. That's what it does. When we express it, it heals. But we have to be patient, and we have to believe. And the only way we can be patient or believe in that love is that we have to practice discernment. We have to practice not reacting to the fear, which is to say, when you react to the fear, you offer resistance, or you mimic it in your way of defense. You're just mimicking, and so therefore you're really the same vibration. Love is a different vibration than fear, and you have to offer that. And even though it gets personal, because when we feel attacked, it becomes personal, you have to find a way to not engage that. Even though you feel it, and it's okay, but you have to find a way to step back and not engage the situation with that. Deal with it, find a way to find balance, to make peace, and then go within and see what inspired idea comes to you about how to solve this. The only way I could describe this is, I remember sometimes in teaching, there was these really big challenges, and you could just fall into this, oh, everybody's this, this them thing that we often do, because that's what the ego has, is because we're self, and then everybody else out there is them, and so it has to be yourself against them, and you get stuck in that pattern. But the thing about it is that what I would love when I would clarify myself is when I would see, ooh, I could be creative about this. I could think creatively about how to deal with this situation. And when I think of that word creative, it makes me think about inspiring others. It's like you're like this fairy with the Tinkerbell, and you go around, you sprinkle this beautiful stardust, gold sparkles everywhere, and you're going to make people feel really good. So if I start thinking about how excited it's going to make me, and how excited everybody else is going to be, then that just shifts me. Because it's like someone who loves to decorate, someone who loves to make things look better. And it's not to say that you want to ignore what's really going on. But the thing is, you got to accept what is really going on. People are just afraid. That's what's really going on. If you make it about much more than that, if you make it personal, then it's hard to see that they're just all afraid too. Just like you, but it's on two different sides of it. And this plays out in the world stage, because they want us to pray for the consciousness and of the earth, but we can't do that if we don't get this on that level. And then if you don't get it in your own personal circumstances. You know, there are people right in your family or people in your job that irritate the hell out of you. And, you know, the only thing you want to do is you want to knock them down for knocking you down. And you could go back and you can make each other's lives miserable. You can, you know, come back and forth with little witty statements, and that just pisses them off a little bit more. But in the end, this is a lot of energy that's going nowhere, because your mission was to channel the unconditional love. You were given this individuality to channel God's love. And so you're never going to get any satisfaction if it's not doing that. You're never going to get any satisfaction out of anything you do in life if it's not inspiring for you and others. So if you're miserable in something that you're doing, it's because you stop being creative. You stop wanting to, like, think about God creative. God created the world. He created the physical universe for his own pleasure, and so that those that were created would also have pleasure. That is what delights God. His creations delight him for this reason, to watch and experience others having joy. It's like the great hostess. They love to throw the party. They love, and they go through all this stuff because they want the people that come, they want them to be happy. They want to see the satisfaction on their eyes. And if you tap into this creative instinct, you can transform, heal many things in your life. You can heal those things which are problems when you see them that way, because you are personally involved in the problem. But when you want to heal, it's not to say you want to ignore what's going on, but you can be creative about your approach, which means you come up with creative solutions. And it's contagious. It's a wonderful thing. And people are just, when the sparks of creativity are flowing, they bounce off and flicker onto others. And they become contaminated by this. And they all of a sudden start to shift. And isn't the whole point that everyone is experiencing the delight that God created them for? And if we could help each other do that by being ourselves, which is really to be a creator. Your father is a creator, and so are you. Or the mother God, father God is a creator, so are you. Okay? And then writing out the word leap. So there's two things that come to my mind about this. One, a leap of faith, and that you will take a leap. This will advance your interactions and your relationships, and it will advance your purpose, your goals, and your dreams. Because when you bring this support of God's love to the world, you attract God's support through his creation towards you. So you'll find people and events and situations just flowing towards you with ease and enthusiasm. Okay, so let's take a look at the cards for the beginning of the week before we run out of time. And we have the Archangel Chamuel. Now, Archangel Chamuel in the fifth dimensional chakra system is in charge of the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is white with tinges of pink and green on the sort of the edges, but the center, when it's open, is a beautiful white. And so Archangel Chamuel asks us to really focus on peace, because peace helps you to open your heart. It allows the love to flow. When you do not have peace about something, that is to say, when you allow yourself to be worried or you allow yourself to be obsessed with the problem, you restrict your light, you restrict the flow of God's channel of unconditional love, and you feel cut off. And for this, you begin to feel depressed, and you begin to feel all kinds of negative emotions, anger, you feel lonely. And sometimes loneliness can create bitterness. And it's all because you think you're lonely because you don't have the outer people, the things, and this. It's about not feeling the creative inspiration of God's love. It doesn't flow through your mind, it doesn't flow through your body or your heart. And when you look at everything around you, it all seems pointless, or it all seems bitter, or whatever it is you're focused upon. And it's like being in a prison. And this, they want you to make this change, not for others. You're not here to do forgiveness for other people. It's for you. Because forgiveness is you withholding yourself from God's light, from all the gifts of God's love that flows through you and informs your action, it informs your beliefs, your mind, your perceptions. And to have this closed off because you won't allow peace through forgiveness is a great disservice to your health, your mental health, and your emotional well-being. This is something, and your physical health as well. I mean, this is something that you deserve. So don't take it away by focusing and fixating on people and problems and taking things personally in life in general. Okay? Let me just tune in and see if there's any additional messages from Archangel Chamuel. And I don't know, I'm just seeing a book and open, and then it was just laid down flat on a surface. And when I first saw it, when I see a book, it means information coming to you. And also I thought about journaling, possibly, but they're showing me eyeglasses, and when they used to put glasses on, this looked like, but there were shades, dark shades though, but I couldn't see the eyes, and so it means that there's removing a lens. Something is you're not seeing something with the absolute clarity, and so that in order to, then they lowered the lens. In that sense, is that there's something you're hiding behind. You need to get from behind that and take a real look. And they just show me the third eye. So you're always looking at everything through the lens of your physical eyes, and not enough with your third eye. And you say, well, how do you do that? Well, your heart. Feel with your heart. See with your heart what's really going on. And when you do that, you can feel what's really going on. You can feel, even though somebody may be so irritated, but you can feel their pain. And you say, well, that's not a reason for them to act that way. And that's you just justifying, not allowing. Well, what you're doing is you're justifying your reason to hold that state, which is withholding from you the peace you deserve. And you're fighting your truth. You're not fighting them. You're fighting your truth in that moment. And your ego has convinced you to hold on to your individuality, meaning to protect yourself, to don't let anybody disrespect you. But the only way to really respect yourself and to not be disrespected by others is to listen to your heart, to discern the truth, even if it contradicts what you see, and know that when somebody's hurting, it's not a good reason for them to hurt others, but they are so closed off from the peace of God that they are not in their right mind, technically, to know better. But if you are able to discern, you know better. And if you do, then you are really magnifying your own suffering. Not because you're being punished. I'm not saying it that way. But it's magnified because you know. It's like once you've seen, you can't unsee. And if you do things when you know you see clearly, it doubles the pain for you. Okay? All right, so let's take a look. We got to move on. And let's take a look at the cards for the beginning of this week. And this is a very interesting deck. And some of the meanings are different than what you made in the images. So this is the Nine of Trees. And she's titled this card Refinement. The trees are the pentacles. And so this card usually shows someone who is an individual, which is interesting since we're just talking about that. An individual who has achieved a certain amount of success. They have learned to appreciate everything that they have. And this is supposed to be the idea that this reinforces where they've arrived. And it's sometimes a reminder to us to not forget to appreciate the successes that we've already achieved. And they come in not always the grand forms, where in the normal vision of this card, where this woman looks like she has the wealth, it's all in material form. But what's interesting here is that there's the moon at the top of this tree, and the branches sort of bend over and sort of spread out, and this. There's one sense I'm getting about this is just from the branches reaching out. It's sort of this a network. It gives me a sense of networking and creating more opportunities and more resources. So like having a lot of different resources and knowing a person who knows how to. Who's very intuitive for the moon here, who's really in touch with themselves and in touch with the resources around them. So this is someone who knows how to use the resources. They've reached this level of refinement in their success, in their skill, in their work ethics, where they know how to really connect and know how to utilize the resources that are available to them, and they have them available to them for some of the reasons we were talking about before. They're good at what they do. Okay, they've mastered the art of business, of dealing with people, and so this is why this card often is indicating someone who would be good at starting their own business successfully, because they know how to appreciate the finer things in life, and they also know how to really connect with people. They know how to make the best use of the opportunities around them, the resources. Opportunities is another way of saying that as well. So this is also giving me a sense that there are plenty of opportunities around you right now. You have the skill, you have the know-how, you have the common sense, the business sense to make the best of these opportunities. This is a stage for you to refine your own goals. So if you're thinking about something specifically in terms of your own business goals, you would you're in the right place to accomplish them. And that's the word in. You're in the right place to accomplish them. I'm also getting a feeling that you have accomplished, or are you putting, or you're like, there's other people who are also accomplished who you may connect with. It's something like this. Maybe it'll come back to me, but it's sort of this branching out and the accomplishments and running into other accomplishments or people who are accomplished on your path and what you need to do. All right, and they're writing out the word fertility. So it's just a really potent time for you, for things to really come together and flow towards you. So keep appreciating and really don't forget, and for those of you who may not feel like this is really you, but don't forget to focus more on the things that you have achieved. So you may be saying, oh, but I should drop this. I don't know if this is going anywhere. And you're forgetting about all the little accomplishments that you've made, the success you've had along the way in this journey. Just because this one thing isn't working doesn't mean that everything is pointless. It just means that right now something new is happening. And the way you've been doing it is why things aren't working, so that you can refine. Okay, there's that word refinement. So you can refine your process, which will open you up to those new opportunities. Okay? All right. The next card is the Six of Hearts. And this is saying the past and letting go of the past. And what I love about this card, which is interesting, they have the pentagram here, which, you would think you would find that in the Pentacles cards. But it reminds us that the third eye is our sort of our film projector, I like to call it, our vision, and it projects that vision of our inner being into the world like a hologram, and your belief allows this hologram to begin to solidify and become a manifested reality in your life. And the thing is that when you're focused in the past, you're reliving it. You're bringing it up by always, referring to what happened, and not refusing to just be present. It's when you are always relating, well, this happened before and this happened before, so I know this is going to happen again. When you do that, that's refusing to live in the present, and you can't see the facts. You can't see what opportunities are being offered to you. And this is giving me a sense is that you're suppressing something. Little hearts coming up from the throat. There's something that you're ready to express, and these emotions from the past are suppressing that, but they're escaping. They want to come out, and you just have to go with that, and flow with it, and not hold back anymore. Okay, so don't hold back. Don't get stuck. Think differently. Refine. This will allow something new is going to open up for you. All right, and Hearts of Cups, and I didn't say that. And the stars are wands here. So adventurer, the Knight of Stars. So look at this beautiful imagery over the heart chakra, which we've been talking about a lot here, and things coming up that we're suppressing. And so this is someone who is, we got the Merkaba here, is passionate, but also has the creative energy and is open for any opportunity, any adventure that comes his way. He isn't restrained. He sometimes can be sort of a volatile energy, and only to other people, because he's not scared to sort of just leap into the fire, if you will. Okay, and that when we have a certain belief about an element like fire, just take that for an example, you know, we won't cross that barrier. We find it hard to get past it. And this knight is not, you know, he'll dive in there, he'll jump in and then figure out what's going on. You know, he loves the adventure, he loves the experimentation. And so this is probably a good time for you to try out some things, to try to see what's opportunities are out there for you, to discover new parts of yourself. You know, if you've been feeling like restless, because this is the sort of flip side of this card, if you've been feeling restless and just sort of like you got all this energy and you don't know what to do, and it's become stagnant, and sometimes when it becomes stagnant, that's when you get really irritated, frustrated, you get really emotional, because you're not channeling your mission of creatively sharing God's love in some form. And there's an infinite number of forms. And you may say, well, what is it? What am I supposed to do? Well, you know, if you don't know what you're supposed to do, then maybe trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing isn't working for you. And it's too much of the feminine energy, which means you're just reflecting too much instead of doing. And so maybe you just need to jump into a few things. You know, you got a couple of things or 3 things that you do feel really that you would like to do and that you are passionate about. Then just do those. Start exploring and see which ones. When you get in there, then you'll discover the one that really calls you, or you may discover some combination. But you're not going to find out sitting back. And so this night would tell you, you know, go for the adventure. Just jump in and see what happens. Take a risk on something that you're doing. And you know, again, this is breaking with some modality, approach from the past. You just keep projecting the same thing. You keep projecting the same fears, and they're holding you back. And you're ready. You have this feeling, but you're ready, but you keep projecting the same fear, and it's just holding you back. All right, let's take a look at the card that I pulled from the bottom of the deck. And this is interesting because the King of Angels, which is the angels in this deck, are swords. And it's called the Peaceful Warrior. So this is giving you a sense of, and put that right over that past card. You know, the King of Angels is about just being he's really clear in his mind and his focus, okay? And to really get those, he can see the way to resolve things. So I think this card is really talking about what we were talking about in the beginning of the reading, about channeling God's love, being creative about looking at a solution, discerning what's in people's hearts. So that'll inform your mind about how best to serve. And this is really what a peaceful warrior does. They pay attention to all of the facts, as the space, spiritual, psychological, everything. And then they step out of themselves and make the best decision that's right for the situation. And you can't do that unless you're tuned into your heart. All right, so I send you lots of love, and this video has gone over, so it's gonna have a little I'm gonna have to edit and clip in it. But I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and hope you've enjoyed this reading and that you like these cards. And if you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com, and which you can find a link below. Don't forget the daily card messages, which we'll be doing using these cards until the angels tell me to move on to another deck. So have a beautiful week, and God bless you all.